Hello, I'm Boyd, and I'm one of the storytellers here at St Paul's. And I'd like to tell you the story in this window, because this is a story with Jesus in it from the Bible. And Jesus is in the window, and he's the one with the red and the green. And he's standing like this. And it's a little bit hard to see, but he's actually standing in a boat. You can see there's a gold line goes across the middle of the window. That's the side of the boat. And the other people in the boat are his disciples. Those were his chosen followers who he was teaching about who he was. And Jesus is in the boat out on the water, and it's pitch black because this happened at night, and there's a wild storm happening. But this story starts the day before, along the edge of the lake, where large crowds had come to see Jesus. His reputation was starting to spread. But at the end of the day, it was starting to get dark, and he finished speaking to the crowds. And he said to his followers, "Let's go to the other side of the lake." And they said, "Okay." So they rounded up some boats and they headed off. And they left the crowds behind. But Jesus was so exhausted, he fell asleep in the back of the boat. So they took him along just as he was. But out on the water, a wild storm hit. Waves crashed over the boat. The boat was going to sink. But Jesus was still asleep in the back of the boat. And his followers, they tried to wake him up. They said, we're drowning. Teacher, don't you care if we're drowning?" And Jesus got up and he told the wind to stop. And he told the water, "Quiet, be still." And it became completely calm. And the wind stopped. And then he said to his followers, "Why are you so afraid? Don't you believe in me yet?" His followers, they were terrified. They asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the water obey him." Even the wind and the water obey him. I've always wondered what happened next out there in the middle of the lake, in the pitch black and the stillness. And I remember I was telling the story to a group here in the Cathedral, and there was a young lad in the group who was barely school age. And after I told them the story, he piped up and he said, "They all got wet." I think it would have been a long journey from where they were to the other side of the lake, thinking about what is going on here. But I've actually always found this story a bit strange. Why does Jesus talk about believing in him in the middle of a wild storm? Why does he ask, "Why are you afraid?" And I always think, if I was in the boat and I trusted in Jesus, should I not wake Jesus up? Should I let him keep sleeping? Because this is a life and death situation, and I'm headed for the water, and I'm going down. But as I've told the story and thought about it and I think I've come to understand a little bit more about what Jesus says when he says, "Why are you so afraid? Don't you believe in me yet?" It was all summed up very, very well one day when I was telling a man here. And I told him the story and I told him my doubts. And then he looked at the picture and he looked at me and he said, "God is with you in every situation." And I think that sums it up so well. So when I come back to the question, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" I know that wherever I am, if I'm in the storm, if I'm in the boat, or if I'm headed for the water, Jesus is with me because he does care. He cares so much, and he proved that by what he did on the cross. Thank you for listening.